The doors are beginning to open as we speak. Welcome to The Edge with the Clif on Yuwie Radio. We need to be a little more serious tonight. We're going to calm down and shake everything off that was attached to us all day long. And now that we're here on the edge and you're safely seated and buckled in, I am the Clif, about to take you on a journey. Now, this journey we call the edge. For the benefit of those listening and hearing this for the very first time, we always define the edge. The edge is a place where we gather together to try to get a glimpse of the beyond. That's the purpose of the edge, is to be able to peer safely from a safe location. That's why there's the cliff. And if we could just get a glimpse, maybe we could be enlightened. Maybe we can find lost truths that have been buried, truths that we've been deprived of. Well, that's the nature of the edge. And if at any time you feel uncomfortable with what you may see or hear or experience on this show tonight, if you get too nervous, just step back just a little bit quietly, not to disturb anyone else, and just kind of gaze from the background a little. Step back a little further to where you feel comfortable. And we hope you kind of stay with us, all right? Well, tonight on The Edge with the Clif on Yuwie Radio, we're talking about spirit guides. And we've got Red-Tail Hawk. I'm gonna hand the microphone over to you so that you can lead us on this journey, because I'm a spectator as well at this point, folks. So go right ahead and start sharing with us.
Well, Clif, in general, one topic that I really wanted to talk with you and with the chat room and whoever tonight was expanding one's spiritual horizon. I feel that there's so much more out there than what mainstream religions acknowledge. It seems as if all religions raise their flag and say, ours is the one true religion. They tend to put people into a box within the parameters of that religion. I think people need to open the box that their religion is and perhaps even get rid of it altogether for a time. Clif, I do consider myself a Christian. However, my personal path includes things that most mainstream Christians would consider the works of the devil. I know personally a Christian psychic, and some people would even say that that's not possible, being a Christian and a psychic at the same time. But to fall back on what we said in a previous show, people need to not be scared, but to explore different paths on the road to understanding the creation that we all inhabit. You don't just dive right in and start to do journeys like I do, perhaps, but one can start to expand their own views and areas of study. And I really think that that's a key. If you're interested in expanding your spiritual horizon, by all means do so. There are so many sources out there, sources like this radio show. We're all on a computer. My golly, there's that wonderful thing called the Internet out there that has good and bad information on it. You have to do research and follow up research with research to find valid things. But I think, Clif, I did want to make that statement tonight, that if you feel the need, expand your horizons, expand your spiritual horizons.
You're listening to The Edge with the Clif. How does one obtain a spirit guide?
Well, I started my journey some years ago. And when I say journey, I was looking. I was trying to, at the time I didn't use the terminology get out of the box, but I was looking for something. I was not completely satisfied spiritually. And quite frankly, I hopped on the Internet, and one thing led to another, and I found a very good article on journeying And at the time, I had no idea what a spirit guide was. I had no idea what a power animal was, or an animal totem, or anything like that. I started meditating, and quite honestly, before I knew it, I had gone on what I considered my first journey. And during that journey, I was greeted by a wolf, and I was greeted by, at the time, I didn't know what kind of hawk, but I knew he was a hawk. It was short, it was exciting, it was thrilling, and that was my first contact, if you will. Since then, in my follow-up journeys, I've been able to communicate with wolf and with red-tailed hawk, and I did determine that it was a red-tailed hawk. And Clif, I have to say that today, coming back from our son and daughter-in-law's house with one of our grandkids, coming back to our home, on the way, crossing the interstate from right to left, was a gorgeous, mature red-tailed hawk who came across and dove down and landed on his prey, and a little tear welled up in my eye when I saw him. It was a beautiful thing.
Yes.
The eagle is one of the most, if not the most powerful animal spirits there is. He actually symbolizes the power of the spirit. One thing, too, the eagle's known for is its remarkable eyesight. Eagles have incredibly sharp eyes. They can spot prey from untold distances. And you can translate that into your experience by saying that the eagle shows us how to be very discerning from a great distance. Some cultures consider the eagle a symbol of truth, a symbol of, I would say, clarity. It's said that the eagle can identify and be aware of more than one thing at a time, that nothing escapes the crystal clear eyesight of an eagle. The eagle, by the way, is also seen as a powerful animal in just about all cultures. The Druids, the Celts, maybe, however you pronounce that, been around for a long time.
Why are we so scared?
We've been programmed to be afraid on the religious side. We've been programmed to be afraid in society. We've been programmed to be afraid of, about everything. We need to just set that aside. When we talk about fear, fear is a nice, simple, wrapped up in a bow comfort zone that we can live in. If you stay within that comfort zone and don't take the step either out of the box or looking at something different or even looking at a different interpretation of a biblical verse, that takes some courage. But when you're spoon-fed something, it's real easy to say, oh, yes, heck yes, I can agree with that, and don't mess me up with the facts. It's a comfort zone that we all have our own comfort zones. It's just that different people have different ones. I know I have my own comfort zones that I choose at this point in time not to walk out of. And I think a lot of the fear that people have, let's not be scared, so I'm not going to probe that. Well, if I don't probe that, I won't be scared. So, hey, I'm back in my comfort zone, I'm happy, so I think I'll just stay here. It's easier that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, go see Red-tailed Hawk. And by the way, there's some really neat, I guess they're pouches, leather pouches. He's a leather craftsman, and he makes these really nice little pouches. You got to see them. I would like to thank Red-tailed Hawk, and may the Great Spirit be with him as he tends to whatever needs to be tended to. Yes, things do happen, and we have to move on with our lives, but at this time, we now release you from the edge with the Clif back to your regularly scheduled physical lifestyle. For some of you, back to the box. But we cut a little hole in it for you. It's called the top, and it's open. Fly out and join us. The Edge with the Clif is on Yuwie Radio.